Hello children, I hope you all are studying and enjoying your holidays too, and you all have completed the notes, the learning, the reading of the previous chapters. Today we are going to start the second chapter of history, and the name of the chapter is From Trade to Territory. The company establishes power. So children, in the previous class, we studied how the British men, the Englishmen, they came to India as traders. They started trading with the India, and they established East India Company, their first factory in Bengal in the year 1651. Though they came as traders, but they started settling all over our country. And year by year, they established 3 of their factories. So today, in this class, we are going to study how from traders they established control over entire India and started ruling Indians. So let's start with the explanation of the chapter. So children, in the beginning of the chapter, I want to tell you about Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb, he was the last Mughal emperor. He established control over a large part of territory known as India. So this is the picture of Aurangzeb. He was the last powerful Mughal ruler, children. Many rulers came after him, but they were not so powerful as Aurangzeb. Then I want to tell you about Vasco da Gama. You all might be knowing this person. He was a Portuguese explorer who discovered the sea route to India in the year 1498. So this is the picture of Vasco da Gama. Now children, let's move on to Aurangzeb. As I have told you, he was the last Mughal emperor, Mughal ruler, and he established control over a large part of the territory. But after his death in 1707, many Mughal governors and big zamindars, they began asserting their authority and establishing regional kingdom. Various powerful kingdoms, they emerged in various parts of India, but Delhi could no longer function as an effective center. And in the second half of the 18th century, a new power was emerging on the political horizon. And children, you all are familiar with that new power, isn't it? They were the Britishers. And children, this is the famous East India Company which you all are familiar with. So this East India Company, it was established in the year 1600, and they got a charter, that is a permission from the ruler of England, Queen Elizabeth I, and they got the permission to establish the right to trade, the solo right to trade with the East. And this meant that no other trading company could compete with East India Company. And the first English ship, children, sailed down the west coast of Africa. This is the western side of Africa, round the Cape of Good Hope, and they crossed the Indian Ocean and they came to India. And children, this is the route how the Vasco da Gama, he discovered the sea route, and he too entered India in the year 1498. So this is the East India Company, and this is the river Hooghly in Bengal, and you can very clearly see and understand that the trading is being done between the East India Company and through the river Hooghly in Bengal. Now it start, as I have told you right now, they started trade. Their trade began in Bengal, and the first English factory was set up near the banks of the river Hooghly in the year 1651, and the factory had a warehouse where the goods for export were stored, and it had offices also, children, where company could sit, that is the officials could sit and govern the country. And by 1696 they began to building forts around the settlements, that is all around the country, wherever in whichever region they settled, they started building forts. And 2 years later they bribed Mughal officials. Why? To give the company zamindari right over 3 villages, and one of these was Calicut, which grew later Calcutta, or today we call it as Kolkata. Now children, as they started trading, establishing the East India Company, the Mughal ruler Aurangzeb was there. So the East India Company also persuaded the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb to issue a farman granting the company the right to trade. Now children, you might be wondering, what is this farman? Farman means a royal order. So they persuaded the Mughal Emperor to issue a royal order so that the company had the right to trade. And finally the farman granted the company the right to trade duty free, that is without any duty, and the officials were asked to pay duty on private trade. So officially there was no duty tax, but when they traded they had to pay duty on private trade. Now children, we were studying till now, I was explaining you about the establishment of the East India Company, their trading, exporting things. Now what happened? How this trade led to battles? These are the 3 famous Nawabs of Bengal in chronological order. So the early 18th century, the conflict started between the company and the Nawabs of Bengal. Why did it started? Because after the death of Aurangzeb, the Bengal Nawabs asserted their power and autonomy as other regional power were doing at that time. That is, they got the power and the freedom as other regional power were doing at that time. That is, they want the trade to govern according, trade to be taken according to their wish. Murshid ul Khan was followed by Ali Wardi Khan and then Sirajuddaulah as the Nawab of Bengal. And children, each one of them was a very strong ruler. And the Nawabs, they refused to grant the company concessions, demand of large tribute for the company's right to trade, and they also denied any right to mint coins and stopped it from extending its fortifications. That is, just now I have told you that once they started settling in the places, in the regions, they started building forts. So the Nawabs, they refused first of all to grant the concessions, and then the right to trade, then they denied the right to mint coins, and finally they also stopped from building forts. And the company was also convinced that to expand trade, they had to enlarge its settlement and to buy villages and also to build forts. And then the conflicts grew to a greater height, and finally it led to the famous Battle of Plassey. Children, I hope you might have heard in the previous class about this Battle of Plassey. The Battle of Plassey took place in the year 1757, and in this battle British defeated Sirajuddaulah with the help of Mir Jafar, and the battle laid the foundation of British Empire in India. So this is the scene, this is the picture of the Battle of Plassey, that the elephants, the horses, the soldiers, everything was used by the Britishers in this battle. Here again you can see it very clearly. And then children, few points about the Battle of Plassey. After the death of Ali Wardi Khan, Sirajuddaulah became the Nawab of Bengal. Now the company was very worried because he was very powerful and they wanted the other privileges, the trade concession, and they were very worried that whether Sirajuddaulah will give them the permission or not. And infuriated Sirajuddaulah asked the company to stop meddling in the political affairs of his domination. So he was very full of rage, anger, and he asked the company to stop interfering in the political affairs of his domination and to stop building forts and pay the revenues. After negotiations failed, the Nawab sent 30,000 soldiers to the English factory, captured the English officials, locked the warehouse, blocked the English ships. So Sirajuddaulah did so many powerful acts, and this is again what I have explained you previously. It's a Battle of Plassey in the year 1757, and the children, British army was vastly outnumbered. They have so many people consisting of 800 Europeans and 2,200 Indians even, and the Nawab had an army of about 50,000. The British General Robert Clive bribed the Nawab's uncle and chief of army Mir Jafar, who controlled the artillery and much of the army. So Mir Jafar, he controlled all the artillery and the major part of the army. The British General Robert Clive bribed him. And what was the result? The result was that Sirajuddaulah was deserted by the best troops in his army, and the British easily defeated those remained loyal. And finally, the Battle of Plassey took place on June 23rd, 1757. So children, it's a very, very important date in the history of India. You also remember it and don't try to forget it. June 23rd, 1757, the Battle of Plassey took place, and this Battle of Plassey considered to be the start of British rule in India, because after defeating Sirajuddaulah, they established their big empire in India. And children, did you know few points about Battle of Plassey? Battle of Plassey was the most decisive war that marked the initiation of British rule in India for the next 2 centuries. That Battle of Plassey is the decisive war. It's the war because after winning this war, the British rule established their control in India for the other 2 centuries. And Battle of Plassey, or it is also known as Palashi, it took place between the British East India Company and the Nawabs of Bengal and his French allies. And the battle, as I have told you recently, it occurred on June 23rd, 1757 at Palashi of Murshidabad district on the bank of Bhagirathi river. Murshidabad, Sirajuddaulah, and the army commander. So children, who was the army commander in this battle? It is Mir Jafar of Sirajuddaullah's side. He betrayed the Battle of Plassey, and then the whole force of Nawab collapsed. And what was the result? The entire province of Bengal came under Britishers. So children, this Battle of Plassey also is also named as Battle of Palashi. So that's all for today, children. In the next class, we will further study about the other battles which took place between the Britishers and the Nawabs of Bengal, and how they were successful, the Britishers were successful in establishing 2 more factories in other parts of our country. Till now, children, go through the chapter, read the chapter and try to understand it. Thank you. Have a good day.